everyone. This is Angie with Living Inspired Within. Today we're going to talk about limiting beliefs. And I am crazy passionate about helping you debunk, crush, massacre your limiting beliefs, however you want to say it. Because my limiting beliefs held me back for so long and they stood between me and my dreams and me and my full potential. And it's something that's so debilitating sometimes, and you can't really see past them. So, I wanted to talk about limiting beliefs today. I know limiting beliefs came up in a couple of the comments last week from some of the posts within the group. So, I wanted to talk about limiting beliefs. If you're watching this and you're struggling with a limiting belief, you can simply comment me below and I can connect with you directly. Or if you'd like to share what your limiting belief is, please share it so that all the women in this community can rally behind you and help you work through and overcome that limiting belief. Because as part of this community, and one of the purposes of building this group was to develop a community of amazing women that can love on, support, and encourage each other. So if this is something you're struggling with, please comment. If you don't feel comfortable enough commenting below this live, that's okay. You are welcome to send me a DM, or you can always email me at livinginspiredwithin@gmail.com. Okay, so that being said, let's talk about limiting beliefs. So I'm going to go over a couple tips that you can use to start learning how to work through limiting beliefs and start debunking the untruths. So first and foremost, acknowledge what they are. They're untruths. They're lies. They are limiting beliefs that you have chosen or subconsciously have chosen to accept as truths. So, first, acknowledge what they are, right? Your limiting belief is simply that it is a belief, it is not true, and it is limiting because it's holding you back from your full potential. So, first, you have to acknowledge it. And then you have to figure out, where did it come from? Did it come from a past childhood experience? Did it come from a recent setback? Did it come from some type of relationship you have? Did it come from, just not feeling enough? Maybe the way you were raised, maybe something that happened in school or in business or career. Where did it come from? So you want to recognize and find out where that limiting belief came from so you can figure that out and figure out the source of the limiting belief. And so for me, I'll use my example. When I started into real estate investing and entrepreneurship, one of the biggest limiting beliefs I was making the most money I had ever made in my career. So I didn't believe as an entrepreneur that I could make as much or more money than I was making in corporate America. That was my limiting belief. I was standing in my own way and I was fearful, and I let fear hold me back because I didn't have the courage, I didn't have the confidence to leave corporate America because I didn't think I could make as much money as I was currently making. And that was important to me. That was important to my lifestyle. That was important to my family. And holy crap, was I totally wrong? So, but I had to work through that. So, how do you work through that? You look at your limiting belief and you recognize it. I knew that it was a limiting belief, that it was something I had fed myself that was not accurate, that was not a truth. So then once you recognize that, you have to figure out, and you kind of figure out where that came from, right? So for me, a lot of that came from how I was raised. And we were raised to go to school, go to college, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder, get raises, right? Because that's what my parents did. So it was taught or ingrained in us, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't know, I had not had my mind or any doors open to other opportunities. So I didn't know that there were other ways that you could make money other than working for someone else. And I didn't know that, oh, by the way, when you don't work for someone else, you can make so much more money than you can make working for someone else, potentially. So that's where my limiting belief came from. So for me, it was important to find out and have evidence of why that was not true, right? So you realize it's not true, but then you have to go prove it to yourself. Because at least for me, I'm a very logical person. So if I think something's true, I need to go out and I need to prove to myself that it's a lie. So I made some phone calls, made some appointments, scheduled some meetings, had some conversations, and I talked to people that were in this specific instance, it was particular to real estate investing. So I talked to some investors and literally said I would call them and say, "Hey, I have this limiting belief. Here's my limiting belief. I don't think I can make as much money as I'm currently making. Here's what I'm currently making. And so, what I need to do is, I need to sit down with you. I need to have a very frank, open, honest conversation. And basically, I need you to open your books to me. I need you to let me know how much you're making per year." And so, for some of you, you may think that would be a totally awkward conversation, something some of us were raised not to talk about money. So, right? So, oh my gosh, I can't believe you called someone and asked that. But I did because I needed proof that I was full of crap in my own mind. And I was. And so, you know what happened? Miraculous things happen when you ask for what you need, you get them. So, people would say, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's sit down. Let's have coffee. Let's have lunch. Sure, I'll tell you how much money I'm making. Sure, I'll tell you, what I'm bringing in, what my overhead costs are." So I went through that process and was able to compile a list of reasons and people and proof why I was making this up, why this wasn't true, because other people had already crushed that limiting belief. Other people were making more money and they had time freedom and they had financial freedom and they were able to do this and they loved what they did, right? So on and on and on. So not only were they making as much or more money, but they also had time freedom. They loved their job, they had purpose, they were living their own dream. They had all these great things that I didn't have in addition to the money. So, first you have to prove to yourself that you're wrong. And then, and often this is the same thing, you have to find proof, right? So, you have to rewrite your limiting beliefs into new truths. So you want to take that and rewrite it into a new truth. So what that may look like is, instead of, "I don't think I can make as much money," you could say, and again, this was specific to when I started real estate investing, you could say, "As a real estate investor, I will make more money, or I will make more than XYZ within the year. And here's why." And you provide proof. And your proof to support your new truths are often the proof you use to debunk your limiting beliefs, because you're proving that your limiting belief is garbage and gets to be thrown out, but you're embracing and holding on to this new truth, which you've decided to rewrite. So instead of saying, "I don't think I can make as much money," it turns into, "I can make as much or more money as a real estate investor and have time freedom and pick my son up from school and be home more in the summer and do this," right? And create wealth for my family and do this. So those were my new truths that I adopted. So it started out just about the salary or the money replacement. And then my new truth included money. It included things about time. It included wealth for my family, long-term wealth building. It included opportunities for other businesses. Case in point, Living Inspired Within. So my new truth included and encapsulated all of those things as well. So that's how I worked on overcoming my limiting belief. So first, you want to acknowledge it. You want to figure out where it came from. Then you have to find proof as to why it's a lie. And that proof is also will help support your new truths, because you want to rewrite your limiting beliefs into new truths. So those are 4 steps you can take to start crushing, start debunking, start getting rid of your limiting beliefs so that you can realize your full potential. Because I know you have amazing things to do in this world. You are here for a very specific purpose that only you can fulfill. But you've got to get out of your own way.